Saintess summons skeletons. By Morn. Chapter 741, Put a ring on it. So, after buying Paratha's master item, I will be left with 632 million points. I think buying the curse ring is probably the smartest choice, as long as I don't lose the Philosopher's Stone. So that leaves me with 132 million and 2 more unique slots. Then, when I'm done being smart, I'll buy the enhancement stone because I like gambling. 32 million left. The last purchase is really the toughest. I should rule out the feather, I think, too random. Sofia paced around the room, talking to herself. I really want the clothes, but at this point, I have enough money to get a similar item made for me outside. Then my choice would be permanent stats, so the curse potion. But I'm already immune to a large majority of curses with the Philosopher's Stone. Ugh. Maybe I should really just buy the Fey potion and sit on it for a filter or two. You have spent 450,000,000 tournament points. You have received Cursed Blood Ring of Gomroth. You have spent 90,000,000 tournament points. You have received Perfect Chaos Enhancement Stone. You have spent 90,000,000 tournament points. You have received Fey Concoction. Remaining unique purchase count, 1/4. Current balance, 983,932,025 points. I forgot about the discount, more points left than I anticipated. So I still have 83 million. The ring was a simple blood red band of multiple alloyed metals. It snapped around Sofia's finger when she put it on. I don't feel anything special. The stone must be working properly, I better be careful not to take it off. For now, Sofia was just wearing the Philosopher's Stone in a bone pendant on a soft bone necklace. She only quickly glanced at the glimmering potion in its mithril glass flask before storing it in a lockbox in a corner of her storage ring. What she really wanted to do now, was to gamble. The Chaos Stone was like a fist-sized purple gem with polished edges. So I just slammed that against the scepter. Will this work from inside the toy box? Hello. We will conduct the enhancement for you outside and relay the result, should you choose to do it now. It would be nice to know who's talking, but thank you. I'll do it then. Sofia placed her scepter on her bed, and held the purple stone high above it. Please. Don't tell me I wasted those points. She slammed the stone against the scepter, shattering it in a cloud of purple particles that quickly shot straight into the scepter, sinking into its wood and its Adamian steel reinforcements. The scepter briefly shone with bright white light, and that was it. Sofia tried to identify it, only to get an error message thrown at her face. Now I need to wait. It's here. Lumion Royal Hand Scepter +1. A weapon that is eager to serve its ruler. Absorbs the backlash of forcefully cancelled channeling. Cannot be damaged by the user's magic. Halves channeling time. Halves the mana cost per second of sustained magic. Inflicts Thunderbolt on hit. Can hold and use the passive effects of one ring, applied to itself. Catalyst, Prismatic Diamond Orb. Accessory, Regulator's Bauble. Ring, none. A ring. The name even changed. Let's see. It lost quite a few things. The can't be forcefully unequipped is gone, so is the projectile absorption and the extra range. It also lost the Angel Bolt damage protection. That's a lot of negatives, but overall not a huge loss, the most important stats are all unaffected. And on the positives, the electrical damage on hit that used to be melee only now is Thunderbolt, without a restriction. Thunderbolt, strike your enemy with a sonorous thunderbolt. Uses the weapon's mana reserves. That's not saying much. But still. Does that mean that anyone I hit with a spell channeled through the scepter is going to eat an extra lightning bolt in the face? I need to try that. And holding a ring. The part of the scepter that hold the catalyst had always been a bony hand ever since Sofia had primed it, and now one of its fingers was slightly lifted from the catalyst it held, just enough for it to be possible to slide a ring onto it. Do I have an extra ring to give it? I don't really. I could go buy one maybe. Even if it's a useless one, just to try. Sofia left her room, planning to go buy a random ring, and she noticed Azaret eating at a food stand on the way, which gave her an idea. Hoi! Easy. How's the food? Sofia? It's good, you tried this one yet? He answered after swallowing a mouthful of steaming noodles. Not this one, no, but I guess I might, if I have points left over. Say, you mentioned you had plenty of rings, right? Any leftovers that aren't even worth putting in the necklace? I need a random magic ring with a passive effect to try something. Izarid raised an eyebrow at Sofia's request. He swallowed another mouthful of noodles before answering. I have some, not sure they'd be of any to you though. Sofia held her staff out. My scepter just got an upgrade, it can equip a ring now. Don't ask me how that works, I just want to try it out, but the rings I have aren't gonna show anything if I put them on. I have a levitation ring. Sofia let go of the scepter, which kept floating next to her. As you can see, we wouldn't see the difference. Oh. Well, I won't bother you more during your meal, you can always. No, I don't mind, just give me a second to look through my storage. Ah, here it is. Izarid took out a small wooden box, placing it on the table. It was full of magic rings, pendants and bracelets, enough for 20 people to wear and have leftovers. Whoa, are you secretly a jeweler? Progress is a very generous sponsor, Izarid answered. I still need to check all of those again just in case, but this is the box jewelry of things I no longer use, so see if there's anything you want, he told her, going back to his bowl of food. Sofia identified the rings in the box one by one until she found one that would easily show how the scepter worked. Ah, this one would work perfectly, she said, grabbing a dull brass ring from the bottom of the box. Still Water's ring, grants the wearer invisibility while they stand still. I've stopped using this one a while ago. It's only visual invisibility, so almost any monster above level 50 can see through it, be it because of mana or smell and all. Saved me a few times in my early levels though. Sofia nodded and slid the ring onto the scepter's finger, which immediately turned invisible. She grabbed it and swung it around, and it stayed invisible. She let it go, it took a few steps away, and when the scepter flew back to her hand it briefly reappeared before disappearing again. Neat, Sofia commented. That looked a bit weird, but it works. You can keep the ring if you want, I'm not putting that in the necklace, would be a pain to deal with. Thanks for the offer but no need, I just wanted to try out the scepter's new function, I'll see if I can buy a proper non-unique ring for it with my remaining points, Sofia said, putting the ring back into the box. Thank you for the help. I'll stop disturbing your meal then. Don't worry about it. I'm more than a bit indebted to you now. If you say so, I'll reiterate though, I'm not interested in any kind of repayment. Just think of the master item as my apology for messing up your trial. You have spent 50,000 tournament points. You have received Strategist's Ring. Strategist's Stamina Ring, you suffer a 25% penalty to maximum stamina and related substats. All allies within range of the ring gain a 5% boost to strength, speed, and agility. Affected allies can only benefit from the bonuses of one Strategist's Ring at a time. There we go. Perfect /5% stamina substats for everyone at the low price of nothing, because the scepter doesn't have physical stats to lose. Too bad the Strategist's mana ring would actually weakens the scepter's mana reserves. I can probably find a better ring later, but that's good for now. Alright, and now. The rest of my points will go to Paritha's master item first, and the leftovers I can dump into the skill optimization machine. All I need is for Parith to make a choice on what to buy. Chapter 742, Everybody gets a level up. Skill optimization available. Your point balance is 983,882,025. Skills available for guided optimization. Spine of the Black Sun. Graveyard of the Nymphs. False Immortality. Runeforged Overlord. The Book of Skeletons. Her hand on the optimization device, Sofia stared at the last line with narrowed eyes. This can't be another trap, can it? Bookie. Bookie summoned himself next to Sofia. Were you sleeping again? You're strangely tired these days. I'm all right. Why did you call me? Are we playing cards? Not this time, no, we'll have plenty of time to play when I build the city, though. Here, look at what the machine is showing me. Oh. I can be optimized. I bet it's Uncle Orator messing with the toy box. He could certainly do that. Bad things happened last time this machine showed a weird upgrade though, so I'm a bit wary. Should be fine, but still. Let's check it out together. I want to be optimized. Bookie happily said, raising his arms. Sofia grabbed him up with her free arm before clicking on the optimization path. Skill, the Book of Skeletons, Skill version index forbidden 009_1.0. Current version. The Book of Skeletons. As I predicted, you must have reached level 300. You are still a long way from completing your quest, mortal. Let not this success get to your head. Oh, that does sound like orator, but more like he was at the start. I assume he left that message within the skill when he first made it. Forbidden 9. There are 8 other forbidden skills then? Let's see what book he gets. Available branches, same version lettered upgrades are mutually exclusive. 2a. The summoned skeletons can now freely supplement their lifetime and mana reserves with ambient mana, 0 TP. 2b. The Book of Skeletons gains 50 extra pages, 0 TP. 2c. The Book of Skeletons pages can now contain significantly more skeletons, 0 TP. 2d. The Book of Skeletons gains extra stats depending on the power and type of stored skeletons, 0 TP. You will be able to pick a second one of those 4 optimizations at class level 400. Well, this is going to be tough. So, Bookie, what do you want? Bookie looked up at Sofia after reading it all. I'm not sure, Sofia. Alright, then let me break it down for you like I usually do with my skills. Version A would allow us to constantly have some of your summons around, but since mobility is an issue, that would probably just be Pestle, most of the time. And it would allow us to have skeletons as permanent workers for both Xandgar and our new city. We could have skeleton guards, farms, smiths, and all, but that would mean we discard a significant part of your battle-ready skeletons and only keep the smarter and strongest ones. Having skeleton workers everywhere would be very nice. But if we have to get rid of a lot of our fighting pages, I don't really like it. Even the dumb and weak pages are very useful. Bookie protested, look at all the Kijikikik. That's true, but it's undeniable we'll have to sacrifice some flexibility if we go with that. I'm sure Pestle would like it, though. Bookie shook his skull. I am sure if we asked her now she would say Pestle don't care. Wear leg. Sofia couldn't contain a giggle. Why don't we just do that then? Care to get her out? Pestle appeared on top of Sofia's head. She grabbed Sofia's horns and quickly scanned the room. Who kill? There's no fight, Pestle, we're choosing an upgrade for Bookie. And we want your opinion. Pestle opinion. That's right, can you read that? Sofia asked pointing at the screen. The first option concerns you, in particular. Ack. Pestle concern. She worriedly said, looking down at the screen, Pestle has opinion. We're all ears, Sofia told her. All ear? Lumen and Skeleton, where ear? Pestle not ear, the fairy asked in incomprehension, inserting her fingers in the empty ear holes on the sides of her skull. I think you are going to need more language lessons. Ack. Lesson no. Pestle very language. Has opinion, she cried out. A is no care, Pestle escape Bookie self. No need. Be bad. More pages Pestle less summon, no good. C is no care, very bored. D Bookie kill. Very do violence. Pestle like, she quickly said before unsummoning herself to escape the mortal threat of Sofia's common language lessons. Well. You were about right, Sofia told Bookie, it looks like she thinks she can escape your pages by herself eventually. It was Bookie's turn to giggle, I think she would not even if she could. Sofia gives her too much free leg. We'll see how it goes, but I agree that I don't really see her escaping. I agree with her on path B, it's bad. We're not really in that much of a need for extra pages quite yet. Plenty of less used skeletons we can afford to replace if we find something better. Though I think it would probably have to be our pick at level 400 no matter what we choose now. Bookie nodded along, 50 is still enough for now. I cannot summon too many at once anyway. So next we have path C, which I think is just bad, honestly. The occasions to get that many skeletons at once aren't so common in the first place, aside from the Kijikik army we don't have too many repeats due to lack of space. Pestle is right, it's boring. Who knew Pestle's analysis would be so good, right? She may take a weird path to get there but she does get to the correct conclusions. Path D would help you get stronger in fights, and would give you a lot more fog to work with if pages give extra mana. If we take this it also makes taking the extra pages next time even better since it will give you extra stats. But we don't know how much the pages give. What if it's bad? Do you have no faith in your uncle? Sofia asked with a smirk. But I'm bad at fighting, Bookie mumbled. This would make you better. If you don't want it, we go with Path A and get permanent summons. We could have them work for us on many different things, even sending the Kijikiks to mine rare ore. The choice is yours. I don't know. In the end, it was how useless Bookie had felt during the Lilith fight that pushed him toward a choice. You have spent 0 tournament points. The Book of Skeletons has been optimized following Branch 2D. Bookie froze in place for a second, his bones shivered, and he was back to normal. All good? Sofia asked. I do not feel any different, Bookie deadpanned. Oh really? Maybe because I have technically not leveled up yet. This must be it. Ah! Bookie exclaimed like he just got shocked. Ouch! You're hurt. And no. My pages. They burned a bit, for a second, it felt like. Worried, Sofia let Bookie down and opened his book form. She let out a sigh of relief seeing that the pages were all still intact. One thing had changed, however, at the bottom of each page, cursive letters spelled out a stats bonus. The first page Wage Crowy, and the bottom of the page read, Processing 10%. Not a bad bonus for a single 10 mana crow. Even the pages recognize how smart he is. Sofia quickly flipped through a few pages, before stopping and taking out her notepad. Let's update the list. Favorites. 1 Crowy 10 plus 10% processing. 1 Elven Engineer 500 plus 25% processing. 1 High Priest 50,000 plus 5% mana. 1 Emperor Pearled Snake 300,000 plus 20% health. 1 Pestle 500,000 plus 300% speed, aura and charisma. Recon units. 1 Rat, new and improved, 10 plus 5% agility. 50 Crows 500 plus 5% processing. 52 Black Turvins 520 plus 10% speed. 100 Rats 1000 plus 10% agility. 103 Ice Spinus 10,000 plus 20% speed. 5 Spellhounds 50,000 plus 10% agility. 500 Red Flailer, Bloodfish, 50,000 plus 5% health. Utility units. 1 Forgotten 30 plus 1% all. 10 Worker Kijikik 500 plus 5% strength. 1 Elf Caretaker, strong, 1000 plus 10% strength. 100 Digger Kijikik 5000 plus 10% health. 100 Worker Kijikik 5000 plus 10% strength. 100 Cleaner Kijikik 5000 plus 10% health. 1 Solar Mage 20,000 plus 5% mana. 1 Useless Hero Toxic Plants 30,000 plus 20% charisma. 1 Firebird, My New Oven, 35,000 plus 15% speed. Mounts. 1 Saltwater Spinnefish, Fish, 5000 plus 20% speed. 1 Warhorse 10,000 plus 15% health. 1 Quetzalcoatlus 10,000 plus 15% agility. 1 Sandworm 100,000 plus 20% health. Support units. 1 Soldier with Bow, 5 RAT, 50 plus 5% agility. 1 Guardian Kijikik 1000 plus 5% health. 25 Paladins 5000 plus 10% health. 5 Fire Salamanders 15,000 plus 10% strength. 5 Giant Ice Spiders 50,000 plus 10% processing. 1 Sir Hellion 50,000 plus 3% mana. 10 Female Stone Ogres 100,000 plus 25% strength. Defense units. 3 Templars 30,000 plus 25% strength. 20 Guardian Kijikik 20,000 plus 10% health. 5 Quetzalcoatlus 50,000 plus 25% agility. 100 Guardian Kijikik 100,000 plus 20% health. 100 Guardian Kijikik 100,000 plus 20% health. 1 Quartz Giant, Gemite, 10,000 plus 1000% health minus 200% speed. Attack units. 20 Soldier Kijikik 20,000 plus 10% strength. 4 Withered Vampire 40,000 plus 25% speed. 1 Tall Mimic, speed. 100,000 plus 50% speed. 100 Soldier Kijikik 100,000 plus 20% strength. 100 Soldier Kijikik, more. 100,000 plus 20% strength. 100 Soldier Kijikik, more, 100,000 plus 20% strength. 3 Sir Hellions 150,000 plus 5% mana. 1 Wind Ice Lightning Mana Aurum Mages, Wilma, 400,000 plus 5% mana plus 10% aura. 5 Sandworms 500,000 plus 50% health. 1 Chimera 500,000 plus 100% health, strength, speed and agility. 1 Fortune Dwarf 500,000 plus 10% mana plus 100% processing plus 100% agility. Pain 10,000,000 plus 1000% health plus 100% mana. Total bonus stats. Plus 2296% health. Plus 256% strength. Plus 341% speed. Plus 271% agility. Plus 134% mana. Plus 151% processing. Plus 321% charisma. Plus 311% aura. Chapter 743, Upgrades upon Upgrades. You have spent 100,000 tournament points. Graveyard of the Nymphs has been optimized to branch 3.0. Current balance, 983,782,025 points. Alright, with that the graveyard spreads through my aura now. Much better. That leaves optimizations for the Spine, False Immortality and Runeforged. But my points are getting a bit low. 83 million left, but the Spine upgrade is 50. I can also request new branches for the runes, but that's 500,000. I should check Runeforged first, it didn't show up for optimization before. Maybe it's because it finally reached level 299 at the end of Lilith's battle? Got a lot of skill level ups this trial. Let's see, hopefully it's not too expensive. Skill, Runeforged Overlord, Skill Version Index SK_Refovlo 1.0. Current version. Runeforged Overlord, level 299. Your body has become one with runes of power. This skill has 3 tiers of power, you may activate the higher tier at any time, but returning to a lower tier requires to either take no damage for 100 seconds or become unable to sustain the tier's cost or conditions. The effects and cost of subsequent tiers are added together when active simultaneously. In your presence all undead and yourself gain the following effects. Tier 1, no cost, requires the user to have arms. Become unwilling to attack this skill's user. Plus 29.9% speed, skill level /10. Tier 2, 0.5, 0.25% max mana per second, requires the user to have a torso. Plus 29.9% speed, strength and agility, skill level /10. Tier 3, 2, 1% max mana per second, requires the user to have wings. Successful attacks inflict a short-lasting confusion. Reduce all incoming damage by 20%. Omnidirectional free flight and acceleration resistance. Plus 149.5% speed, strength and agility, skill level /2. Available branches, same version lettered upgrades are mutually exclusive. 1.1a, this skill's benefits no longer apply to non-ally undead, 10,000 TP. 1.1b, there is no longer any restriction in switching between tiers, 10,000 TP. 1.1c, skills sustained mana costs minus 25%, 10,000 TP. 1.1d, effect of each tier's stat bonuses plus 25%, 10,000 TP. 2.0a, the skill now has a single tier, tier 2.5 equivalent, with a reduced mana cost, 10,000 TP. 2.0b, unlocks tier 4 which has a high health cost in addition to the mana cost, 10,000 TP. 2.0c, engraves the runes directly into your blueprint, removing the body part restrictions, but making the skill impossible to erase. Fusions and alterations still available, but limited, 10,000 TP. 2.1, switches the skill to the compressed leveling format giving overall stronger but infrequent progression, 50,000 TP. Requesting new branch unavailable due to maximum number of offered branches already being reached. Whoa! Those are some instant buy upgrades. For once I don't even need to think. You have spent 1060,000 tournament points. Current balance, 982,722,025 points. Runeforged Overlord has been optimized following branches 1.1b 2.0c 2.1. Sofia spent the next half hour twitching on her bed as the runes slowly and painfully engraved themselves into her blueprint. Nevertheless, she felt that the result was more than worth the points and the temporary pain. Runeforged Overlord, Level 4. You have become one with runes of power. This skill has 3 tiers of power, you may freely switch between them at any time. The effects and cost of subsequent tiers are added together when active simultaneously. In your field aura, all undead and yourself gain the following effects. _____. Tier 1, always active. Become unwilling to attack this skill's user. Plus 40% speed, skill level *10. _____. Tier 2, 0.5, 0.25% max mana per second. Plus 40% stamina substats, skill level *10. _____. Tier 3, 2, 1% max mana per second. Successful attacks inflict a short-lasting confusion. Reduce all incoming damage by 20%. Omnidirectional free flight and acceleration resistance. Plus 200% stamina substats, skill level *50. A hefty stat bonus from the compressed level and all restrictions removed. Now that's some good stuff. I probably screwed myself out of a soft evolution with that, I think. The optimizations are basically just that, anyway, aren't they, just minus the name change? Skills available for guided optimization. Spine of the Black Sun. False Immortality. I can still request an optimization for False Immortality. Available branches, same version lettered upgrades are mutually exclusive. 0.42.3a, one more rune can be engraved at base level, global time to engrave increased from 10 to 20 minutes. 10,000 TP. 0.42.3b, health can now be recovered while a rune is active, but doing so will degrade the rune accordingly. 1% health recovered equals 1% reduced rune completion, 10,000 TP. 0.42.3c, body reconstruction and invulnerability time reduced to 1 second, thought continuity is no longer interrupted by rune-prevented deaths. 10,000 TP. 0.43.1, skill becomes passive. Rune will now engrave themselves. 50,000 TP. Request new branch, 500,000 TP base fee * plus branch cost. * fee refunded if completion of request is impossible. Yeah, these haven't changed. My new cursed ring doubles casting speed, and the catalyst will double the halved channeling time of my scepter, so the runes will be exactly 75 seconds to engrave after I prime the catalyst. 0.42.3a would bring it back up to 2.5 minutes for one more rune. Honestly, not a bad trade-off. The B and C are still useless, so it's just a matter of whether I want the A branch or not. 2.5 minutes of casting time is still half of what I'm used to, fast enough to get the runes back up with a short break. The thing is, if I skip it and manage to get one more casting speed buff, like the summer melody, I can get the time down from 75 seconds to under a minute. At that point it would be fast enough to get a rune back up in the middle of a fight. One more rune as a baseline is probably still better. I can definitely not take 0.43.1 now anyway, not with my scepter reducing channeling time so much. Losing that bonus would be dumb. I should just request a branch. But what do I want? Now that the runes can't stop my regeneration, there isn't really any issue with them. It's a perfect skill. Well, if I could ask for one thing. You have spent 500,000 tournament points. Current balance, 982,222,025 points. You may request for any change to the skill. The more your request deviates from the base skill, the more unlikely it is to get through, and the more likely it is to cost a lot of points. Please write your branch request here. Hello, is it possible to get a branch that helps me not to lose my items when I die? Please do not make anything that would cost more than 30 million TP to buy, thank you in advance. Branch request sent. It took more than half an hour for the machine to finally come back to life after Sofia made her request. Unlike the spine's request, which resulted in 3 new possible branches, this time there was only one. 0.5. You may now select up to one equipped item per maximum runes able to be engraved. Selected items will be stored inside of your left eye upon death if still in range, and be automatically re-equipped after your body's reconstruction. Requires your left eye to be functional at the time of death, 25,000,000 TP. It uses the eye? Interesting. It's not perfect, but I guess I should be happy considering how random the request was. With this I can make sure I don't lose the dagger and the shroud when I die. The crown is less important since it normally comes back on its own, but it would be a nice addition if I'm outside of system range. Then I can add the scepter just to avoid it being grabbed while I'm out, even if that hasn't ever happened yet. I'll take it. You have spent 25,010,000 tournament points. Current balance, 957,212,025 points. False immortality has been optimized following branches 0.42.3a 0.5. That leaves only the spine. Skill, Spine of the Black Sun, Skill version index SK_SPOBS_1.0. Available branches, same version lettered upgrades are mutually exclusive. 1.1, Channeling is now instant, 1000 TP. 1.2, Unlocks a Great Sword form, physical damage equivalent to unenchanted orichalcum, 2000 TP. 2.0a, Unlocks a Great Bow form, which supports casting up to 5 Angel's Bolt at once and lets you fire them at curved angles. Give the bolts weak target tracking, solar bursts are lost in this form, health recovery instead scales directly on the bolt's damage. 50,000,000 TP. 2.0b, Unlocks an Otlotl form, which improves aim, projectile and casting speed for the Angel's Bolt. Solar burst triggers as a secondary implosion of the explosive bolt's explosion, and as usual for piercing bolts hitting a target. 50,000,000 TP. 2.0c, Unlocks a shoulder cannon form, which only supports piercing bolts, but has automatic aiming and fires a secondary solar flare at hit targets instead of a solar burst. 50,000,000 TP. Request new branch, already spent for this skill. 1.1 and 1.2 are basically free, I just need to choose which lettered branch to pick. The bow lost some of its appeal now that I can do curved shots by hand, losing the solar burst is bad, but the Philosopher's Stone means I would fully profit from the health recovery now. I would heal a ton every time the bolts hit. But I also always get my auras healing even through the unlife runes now, so no matter what I regenerate 10% health a second. That means the multiple cast is really the only valuable part of the bow, but Bloodlight Skull Choir can already do that. So it's between the other two. Improved casting speed plus added solar bursts, or enhanced automatic piercing bolts. Both are equally good I think. So it's a matter of preference. That makes things easy. My preference is bigger explosions. You have spent 50,030,000 tournament points. Current balance, 907,209,025 points. Spine of the Black Sun has been optimized following branches 1.1 1.22.0b. Alright. Show me the mighty Otlotl. Sofia held up her scepter, invoking the spine. Bone covered the staff as it turned into exactly the same weapon with an extended middle finger. Sofia was silent for a moment, observing her scepter, wondering where she had gone wrong. Is this some kind of joke? She mumbled. She dispelled the spine and re-invoked it, but the result was the exact same. Parith? Do you have time to come here for a second? Parith appeared in the room next to Sofia before she could even finish her mental sentence. Thanks, here, look, I bought the Otlotl upgrade. But all I got is my staff flipping me off. Is this what an Otlotl is? Did I get scammed? Parith shook his skull. Not a scam? I mean, not that I expected the system to scam me, but still. This looks. Parith summoned his sword of light, transforming it into a long stick with a curled end. Oh. I can kind of see it. It didn't have to be the finger, though, did it? Care to come up to the deck and teach me how to properly use it? Parith seemed overjoyed at the idea. Chapter 744, Last Days on the Ark. Sofia looked at the master item Parith had bought for himself. It wasn't primed yet, but he had still been able to customize it. Tournament Master's Adaptive Cuirass. Carefully crafted from the rarest materials by a genius craftsman, the Master Cuirass lets you gain various immunities. You have chosen the following. Immunity to burning. Immunity to explosion damage. Immunity to health regeneration impairments. Immunity to strength impairments. The physical protection the Master Cuirass grants increases with your class level. Cannot be destroyed. Must be primed before use. Just say it if what you wanted was immunity from me. Sofia joked, not a bad choice, all things considered. Explosions seem to be a hallmark of high-level fighting, since at some point anything we do produces shockwaves anyway. Light would have been good too, but I suppose immunity to burning does help with that. Did you pass on blunt damage because you already have the resistance? Perith nodded. Yeah. Still, it's your biggest weak point even with the resistance. Also, with that cuirass, your armor of light and the bone armor, you'll be wearing 3 chest plates in battle now. Your mana heart might just be at its safest in its original position. Alright, you have to buy my earring now. And I have to buy you another master item. I know we've found 3 more but I haven't checked them out yet. Already picked? We only have 2 more days. Perith nodded again, gesturing for Sofia to follow him. He led her to a fried vegetables restaurant, walked straight into the kitchen past the cook, who completely ignored both him and Sofia's presence, and opened a secret passage by removing the blackened iron back panel of a stone oven. Who even found that? Perith pointed at the book attached to Sofia's waist. Oh. Pestle? Why am I not surprised? Well. After you. The back of the oven led to a vast open throne room with cold stone walls, which could absolutely not fit into the back of the restaurant no matter how one looked. What the fuck? The walls were marked with traces of violent battles, and Sofia could easily recognize the burns left by Perith's arc light. Let's get a look at this hidden shop. Undead Throne Shop, Level 5. Categories: Consumables, LV1-2, Undead Throne Replica, LV3, Skill Tickets, LV4, Special Shop, LV5. Undead Throne? That rusty thing at the back of the room? Yet I don't think I'll be buying that. But that does give me high hopes for the item. Open the Special Shop. You Tournament Master's Crown of Eternal Frost. A sinister force seems to inhabit the crown's dark alloy. Grants the wearer immunity to cold damage. Your successful melee attacks inflict permafrost. If the wearer is not undead, gain strong authority over all non-sapient undead. Necromancy and frost system skills gain 5 times more experience. Your charisma is doubled. You will rise again as a random elite frost undead after death. If the wearer is undead, all stats plus 20%. Your aura gains freezing. Grants the option for a frost racial evolution the first time you cross a filter while wearing the crown as an undead. Must be primed before use. Price: 100,000,000,000 TP. With wide open eyes, Sofia bought the item before even reaching the end of the description. You have spent 900,000,000 tournament points. Current balance: 7,209,025 points. Tournament Master's Crown of Eternal Frost has been bought for Twin, Perith. A spiky crown of black metal with a frosty sheen appeared directly on top of Perith's skull, making the air around him feel colder. It's not even primed and it's spewing out cold already. I hope you will be able to hold that in after priming, or we might just have to make your wear a ring of heating. 20% to all stats. Such a ridiculous buff. Not to mention everything else. I'll be looking forward to your racial evolution, but you better still be a skeleton. Perith answered with a shrug, taking off the crown to get a look at it himself. Don't worry, it looks good on you. Perith stared back with insistence at Sofia's words. Hey, I'm not at all saying that just because I'm happy to no longer be the only weird one always wearing a crown. Perith laughed silently. Sofia played with the small mithril earring in her hand, observing the reflections of the water in the blue gem it held. Tournament Master's all-in earring. Carefully crafted from the rarest materials by a genius craftsman, that master earring give a multiplicative buff of plus 77% to mana and its 3 related substats. Applied after all other modifiers. Chosen stat can still be altered until priming. Must be primed before use. Becomes a permanent part of your body. Consumes 2 skill slots. Your 2 other main stats base growth per level is set to 0. They will now only grow from overcoming the filters. Hard to believe this tiny thing is that powerful. But the mana circuits inside of that gem are so dense they look like a solid block. I knew very fine circuits were drawn for rings and jewelry, but this one is on another level entirely. It's no surprise it takes 2 skill slots. Thankfully the priming isn't too expensive, I should be done before the week is over. If I wanted to fully squeeze every last drop of value from it, I would first level up to 349 to get some extra health and stamina before putting it on. But at this point the extra mana will be more useful, even if it won't speed up my debt repayment. The level up stat growth is basically worthless now anyway. Even for mana, not even the 77% improvement will make it count, I think. Failing to remember the numbers, Sofia pulled out an old bone slate from her storage. Total stat gain for 49 level plus X. Health 3765, Stamina 2609, Mana 342,944. Yet, losing the health and stamina is really not even worth mentioning. And even accounting for earring, if I get the same amount of mana from leveling, that would only be an extra 600,000 mana. It's a lot now, but it will probably feel like nothing after the filter. Stats from leveling just stop being relevant at this point. Sending the wet bone tablet back into her storage, Sofia stepped out of the shower. I should get ready, I'm going to be late to the farewell banquet. Perith had taken his time to buy his 2 remaining uniques after buying Sofia's earring, eventually getting his bony hands on the 10 million points curse resistance potion, and on a first shield to feed his master shield, costing him another 50 million points. After an evening of festivities with all the real participants of the trial, Sofia finally found the chance to be alone with Perith on the way back to their room, and asked to see his new shield. Blazing Sun Crest Shield. The Elderwood shield of a retired paladin of sun that has seen many battles. Tough and lightweight, it is counterintuitively very resistant to fire and heat. The wearer gains resistance to fire damage when holding up this shield, and their light-related skills gain plus 25% range. Melee attacks with this shield inflict burning. So let me get this right. If you bash someone with this, you inflict burning and permafrost? I have to say I'm a bit curious about how this is going to work. We'll definitely have to go on a shield shopping trip after we're out. Speaking of which, I made this for you. Sofia took out a shield made of her own Lumion bones, Perith's summoning ritual engraved on its surface. That way you have easy access to your own summoning ritual if you want to swap skeleton. I even modified it to directly use mana instead of blood. I've been working on this in secret for a while, but I only managed to finish it now since I've had an entire free week. Do you like it? Wait, you're gonna crush my bones at this rate. Chapter 745, New Race. Welcome back to the real world, lads. So, who's gonna go first? Sofia opened her eyes in an unfamiliar room, laying on some kind of stone table, a strange feeling in her chest. She looked around, seeing 2 other person in the room, notably, the one who just spoke. Clint. Sofia said, I'm a bit disoriented. That's how it usually is, means your awakening's going well. Alright. I didn't expect to see you here. You didn't? Better expect to see me again every filter because your heart's too dangerous for anyone else to want to handle it. Unless you want to do it yourself. Not to mention I have to handle Perith's racial evolution, my crown after all. Nice to see it finally sell. You made the master crown? Not too surprising I suppose. I worked on about half of the master items, but back to the point, I'm itching to get to work. Who first? Sofia looked at Perith on the stone table to her left. He seemed just as disoriented as she was. The racial evolution first, then the level ups. Sofia suggested. Sure thing. Unlike you last time, there are a few options here, so you can choose. There were 3 already existing races that would fit, and I made up an extra 2 because I was excited. Just pick one and I'll get to work. It's all his choice, of course. Of course. So you just created 2 races for fun. Lass, my domain is creation, isn't it? What else do you expect? That being said, they are race that do not exist yet, so I wouldn't say I've really created them, yet. Alright, let me just. Perith is undergoing race evolution. Possible frost racial evolutions from skeleton. Elite frost skeleton. Underworld lich. Glacial shade. Hrim Thursday dragwer. Yoyeg. Quickly reading the names but not looking into the details yet, Sofia had one question to ask. Are you not going to tell us which ones you made? You'd know if you read the description, the last 2. Clint answered with a smirk under his beard. Inspired by the hero and beastman worlds mythologies respectively. So Elite Frost Skeleton is an actual existing race. Elite Skeleton is basically what any skeleton gets if they live long enough, can occur naturally, and it's generally heavily influenced by their preferred environment, like shades. Glacial shade is the same. Right. And speaking of which, skeleton evolves into shade? Doesn't feel too natural. It actually is, believe it or not, but this isn't the time to get into details. Sofia silently nodded and got to reading through Paritha's options. Elite Frost Skeleton. Mana and time has etched the cold into your bones. Like a regular skeleton, but colder, and better, Clint. Skeleton switching ability, preserved. Main features. Very high survivability but reduced speed. Inflicts cold damage to attackers. Cold aura. Feels pretty basic but also not a bad fit. I'm not sure I like the reduced speed, but all races come with a downside. Hey. Underworld Lich. Eternity in a shell of ice. Historically unpopular old Lich variant that has to keep their phylactery on them like a regular mana heart, seriously powerful, though, in theory, Clint. Skeleton switching ability, preserved. Main features. Strong racial ability to freeze mana. Extremely durable phylactery that profits from defensive skills and items. No resurrection. That capitalized no resurrection sounds a bit too permanent for my liking. I understand why it's unpopular. Could still be a good choice. But not one I would happily pick. Glacial shade. Bones wither, but the wool remains. I mean, I had to include it, but it's not a skeleton, so I won't bother with the description, Clint. Sofia silently giggled and had to admit Clint was right, as she had dismissed the option before even opening the description. She quickly opened the next one. Hrim Thursday Dragr. The frost giants of the north have returned from Niflheim. Like a giant human skeleton, size shouldn't be an issue since you got the draconic transformation. May include facial hair. Clint. Skeleton switching ability, limited. Main features. Tremendous size and health. All magic permeated by frost. Takes triple damage from fire. Honestly pretty good. Limited skeleton switching is sad, but since it's more or less human-shaped I suppose it's fine, at least. Triple damage from fire is a tough weakness to have. But the Master Cuirass giving immunity to explosion and burning does cover for most of the weakness aside from direct fire magic. We can always focus on finding more ways to supplement his fire resistance. I have to think about it. Yoyeg. The spirit of death that roams the world to bring forth winter every year. A skeletal creature that can take many forms, Clint. Skeleton switching ability, improved. Main features. Improved signature skill. High speed and fast self-revival. Weak to physical damage. Very good. Improved signature skill is a standout feature. Weakness to physical damage is a harsh penalty, though. Even if he already has some physical resistances, unlike the previous one's fire weakness, I cannot help against that one with heat death. Can we know what limited and improved switching is exactly? Sofia asked Clint. The Yoyeg can switch skeleton anytime and gets some stat bonuses depending on the skeleton. Like health currently scales with the skeleton. Exactly, but other stats can be affected. As for the Hrim Thursday, it's limited to tall human-like skeletons. Think trolls, giants, that kind of things. Actual human skeletons are probably too small, but I can't predict exactly where the limit will be. Good chance that a tall elf would work, but you'd want a heavier type for the blessing anyway, no? Any chance that we can find something heavier than his current skeleton? TLDR made this one after all, so. Oh for sure, the main thing will be to train the shapeshift first, or things will get unpractical. Clint said, looking at Parith, if you pick this one, I'll be able to alter your human skeleton to fit the class. Still won't be as good as a real giant skeleton, though, so you'll want to hunt for one. Nasty fuckers are tough, though, so maybe start with a troll. Unless you can find a giant already dead. So proper giants are actually a thing. I couldn't find much. They ain't the kind of monsters you just randomly find. Remember the Kleptron drone? Hard to forget, but how? That's what the giants eat. Oh. And just for curiosity's sake, which race would you recommend? The ones I made, of course. Clint answered with an exaggerated wink, flexing his muscles. Honestly, they're all good, so. Already know what you want, Parith. Parith shook his skull. He seriously weighed each option. After a minute of silent reflection, he had made a choice. Well, looks like it's time to retire the Hellspawn skeleton. Served us well. Can't you have the small one grab it? Bookie? No, he cannot work with a skeleton that's already been necromantically used. Bah, I'm sure you'll find a use for it. Let's get that racial evolution started, boy. It could be a bit much to do everything at once, so I'll pause your level up midway to give your soul time to adjust to your new bones first. In his original human skeleton, Perith followed Clint to another room. After telling Perith to lie down on some sort of strange black anvil, Clint readied his hammer. Race, Hrim Thursday Dragwer. Prerequisite conditions for evolution. Humanoid skeleton. Legendary frost artifact or frost-related class. SSS rank monoheart or above. Highest stats are health and strength. Will to oppose gods. Racial features. Remnants of ice, your body has become one with the primordial frost, your bones are ice, and ice cannot slow or stop you. In battle, you leave an icy trail with your steps. Fire within, your eyes and monoheart glow with a cold blue fire, enemies within their light are slowed by 5% unless they are immune to cold or fire damage. Dragor skeleton, your bones contain the essence of the Nordic cold, and can influence the weather when they break. When doused with underworld water, you will temporarily grow in size and strength. Spirit bone body, as long as your skull is intact, the rest of your skeleton can move normally no matter the damage it may have taken. Pride overwhelming, you can grow wild hair on your head and face. Racial skills. Giant's blood, if you are at least 3 meters tall, health is doubled. Wines of Nibelheim, your mana itself gains the cold attribute. All your spells are imbued with the cold, and all damaging skills gain additional cold damage. Melting spirit, you take triple damage from fire. Chapter 746, Let It Flow. The air in the room was cold, freezing mist flowing from Perith's bones. He looked taller and sturdier than before, but was stumbling about like a child learning to walk, his bones shaking. Take your time, try to walk around the room, you'll be used to it in no time. Clint told him before turning to Sofia. And now it's your turn. He eagerly said, brandishing his hammer. Sofia involuntarily shuddered. Good news, it should be so bad that I can almost guarantee you will not be waking up midway this time. Just think of the stat points, yeah? You do remember where I ended up last time I let you? Right. And you survived, right? Shouldn't happen again, I know what to expect this time. Just lie down and let me do the rest. Sure. Oh, right, should I put the earring on beforehand? Sofia asked, grabbing the master earring out of the small storage ring containing her winnings that had appeared in her hand midway through Perith's race change. No need. It would just make my job harder for no reason. The stats you get will be the same either way. All right. I'm ready then. Sofia climbed onto the cold black anvil. When she was well in place, with Perith watching from the side, holding himself upright with the help of his sword, Clint changed his hammer for a different, more dangerous-looking one. An ice pick. This might hurt a lot. Sofia blacked out from the first strike. You gained a level. Congratulations, your Saintess class reached level 300. New active skills are available. New passive skills are available. One skill evolution available. Congratulations, you have triumphed over the 5th filter. You may now gain experience up to level 349, disabled. You may now toggle experience gain. Your monoheart has awakened. Due to the crown of victory, all trial stat gains will be doubled. Stat increased breakdown. Basic level up stats. Health, 1026 527 plus, 20*2, equals 1026 567. Stamina, 373 611 plus, 20*2, equals 373 651. Mana, 5365 182 plus, 2000*2, equals 5369 182. Monoheart Awakening Multiplier, Cumulative. F rank plus 1.1. E rank, plus 0.81, 1.91x. D rank, plus 1.41, 3.32x. C rank, plus 2.41, 5.73x. B rank, plus 2.27, 8x. A rank, plus 0.63, 8.63x. S rank, plus 0.34, 8.97x. SS rank, plus 0.24, 9.21x. SSS rank, plus 0.79, 10x. X rank plus 0.33, 10.33x. UEX rank, plus 0.33, 10.66x. Ultimate rank, plus 0.34, 11x. Total stats gained. Health, plus 10 265 670. Health, plus 10 265 670. Stamina, plus 3 736 110. Stamina, plus 3 736 110. Mana, plus 53 691 820. Mana, plus 53 691 820. Name, Sofia Afinareth. Age, 21. Class, Saintmancer. Subclass, False Lord. Level, 300. Health, 21 557 907. Stamina, 7 846 671. Mana, 112 752 822. Divinity, 130. Mana regeneration, 0.32%, plus other sources equals 478 735/s. Mana regeneration in sunlight, 0.32%, plus other sources equals 168 132/s. This is absurd, Sofia muttered, looking around as she slowly woke up. She did not recognize the bedroom she was in, again. Parith and Bookie were not there, though Sofia could feel their presence a few hundred meters away. The only other person present was Pestle, sleeping next to Sofia on a large pillow. "Hey," Sofia called out, poking the sleeping fairy skeleton. "More." "Sleeping," the fairy mumbled, clutching the pillow harder. The silk pillowcase burst under her grip, sending white feathers flying all over the bed. "Ack. No. My bad. Shouldn't have poked you. Sofia. You wake. As you can see. Was I out for long?" 3 day. Pestle said, "Sleep in Cookie House," she explained, before starting to clean up the mess she had just made. "Coolly? We're back to the human continent?" Extending her mana senses, Sofia tried to look around, but her perception was confined to this one room. Creation's rune. Clint must have sealed the room. "The air is thick with my mana," Sofia noted, waving her hand around, watching a faint mist of mana flow around her palm and between her fingers. "But it's not uncomfortable." Pestle stopped gathering the falling feathers for a second and nodded, "Own power, very comfort. Up until a certain point. This is a lot more than I was able to handle before though. But that makes sense." Observing her skin, Sofia could directly see the mana leaking out, like sparkly particles of white dust, because she was producing so much excess. She held such a large amount now that she could physically feel the movement of the mana coursing through her body with no concentration or effort, like one could feel their heartbeat after a sprint. And that's without the earring. Speaking of which, Sofia opened the small storage ring that was still on her left hand's finger. Far concoction, the cursed ring, strategist ring, the pin, the catalyst, the earring. 2 kilograms of mithril, a bunch of stones, and the philosopher's stone. Everything's here except for the gold, mithril, and random stuff I bought with the rest of my points. Parith should have Jin's key. The catalyst still needed priming, but the earring was already full with her mana, as she had worked on it during the last week of the trial. Time to say goodbye to 2 skill slots. Sofia brought the tiny mithril earring to her left ear and before she could even try to put it on, it latched onto her earlobe by itself, and Sofia could feel both her magic uncontrollably invading the item's mana circuits, and it somehow invading hers back. When it reached her mana heart, quickly, her total mana started to rise. "I feel like I'm about to burst." Mana, 199 572 495. Mana regeneration, 0.32%, plus other sources equals 847 371/s. Mana regeneration in sunlight, 0.32%, plus other sources equals 2067 605/s. Sofia urgently brought the catalyst out of the storage ring and poured all the mana she could into it, breathing heavily when she was done. If she had to equate it to a more human feeling, it was like throwing up one's entire stomach and instantly feeling the pain and nausea go away. This is going to take some time to get used to. 6 Sofia. Pestle asked, her arms loaded with tightly packed feathers. Need leg? I'm fine. Don't worry. Just a bit too much mana. Ah. Pestle no, she said, quickly stuffing the feathers back into the ripped pillowcase, before jumping on top of the catalyst Sofia still held. Like too much leg. Let flow. Let flow. Pestle nodded, instinct is keep all the leg. Only good for weak or sneaky. Strong is always let flow. I need to train to always let the excess flow out instead of letting it leak out by itself. Sofia very understand. Pestle confirmed. An unexpected side effect of power hui. That could be dangerous though. Hanging out around low-level humans while leaking out 2 million mana a second. In a closed room they might actually die from exposure. Pestle not make mana, not sure what do. You helped enough thanks, for now I can send the excess to the catalyst anyway, I'll figure something out. TME for leg. Give me a minute to check out my skill evolution first, then yes, I'm hungry too. Leg. A new evolution choice was unlocked for the skill, Valkyrie's Rihafen of Sorrow. Available evolutions for Valkyrie's Rihafen of Sorrow. Numb Echo of Sorrow, don the original form of the Apostle of Sorrow, with no restrictions and highly strengthened powers, but no way to turn back. Bleak Light of Sorrow, change freely between your Lumion and Apostle form, but your Apostle powers are only slightly strengthened. Hungering Hand of Sorrow, you no longer have complete control of when you switch from your Lumion to Apostle form, but it now gains strengthened physical stats for each held divine essence. Mother has been hard at work. Scribe, is everything good on your end? Is this all the information we have? Still hard at work stabilizing everything with the mess the earring just made. This is all we have, but I trust all options to be good. So do I. As much as I love my demon body, I still want to stay more or less human. Bleak is just what I already have but with no restrictions. Hungering is a wild card. I trust Sorrow. Your passive Valkyrie's Rihafen of Sorrow has evolved to Valkyrie's Rihafen, Hungering Hand of Sorrow. Valkyrie's Rihafen, Hungering Hand of Sorrow, the deity of sorrow has welcomed you as her eternal kin. You are granted full authority as an apostle. Your field aura gains tides of sorrow. You may uncontrollably change to, be stuck as, or change back from your daughter of sorrow form depending on circumstances. In your daughter of sorrow form, all base physical stats are increased by 3% per divine essence held. With a mere thought, Sofia altered her body, entering her demon form. Not bad. Chapter 747, Your Problem Now. Switching back to her Lumion body with no effort or side effect, Sofia quickly sorted through her clothes to find something casual to wear, and seeing Pestle eye her enviously, made a small bone replica of the same long robe for her to wear. Let's go. Just give me some time to find how to open the bar. Pestle jumped off of Sofia's shoulder, and stabbed at a precise spot of the mana barrier surrounding the room with her claws. The entire thing crumbled, the leftover mana dispersing harmlessly into the air. Open. That works. Cooley's house was a relatively simple countryside home built with quality wood, with potted plants, crocheted pillows and curtains everywhere. Looking outside, it seemed that it was in the middle of nowhere, near a calm creek at the base of a mountain, with no other buildings in sight. North of Drakran, I think? Cooley and Perith were sitting at a wooden table under the shade of a large tree, sorting through a pile of paper, while Bookie was further away in the plains, running after a level 20 butterfly monster. Cooley was so busy, reading the papers with furrowed brows, that she failed to even notice Sofia approaching, unlike Perith who greeted her with a nod. Good morning. Nice beard. What are you reading? She asked coolly, pulling her attention away from the papers. Nyat, nothing important, Cooley answered, turning towards her, feeling well. I don't know if that is how I would describe it, but not bad. It's definitely going to take a while getting accustomed to having so much mana. How about you? Nay, I've never felt better or stronger. It's like I regained my youth. You certainly look less tired, Sofia noticed, thanks for letting me rest in your house while I was out. Also sorry, I ripped one of the pillows, she apologized, tapping one of her horns. You can rip all the pillows if you want, Cooley answered with a shrug, looking down under the table at the tournament master greaves she was wearing. Thanks for the offer but I'm fine. I'm more curious about the nothing important you're dealing with. Backlog of the Adventurer Guild's business. Ah. That would have been much less of a headache. I'll have to deal with that later too, but no, these are suitors. Ooh. That many? Sofia asked. Judging by the 3 piles of envelopes on the table, there were at least 400 or 500 of them. Cooley raised an eyebrow. Poor girl. I think you are ill-prepared for what is coming your way, she said, putting the letter she had been holding on the largest of the 3 piles, and moving to pick one up from the second largest. Perith stopped her before that, sliding the letter he had been reading toward her. This one is decent. Perith nodded, and grabbed another unopened envelope to read. Cooley thanked him and got to reading the letter Perith had handed her. I never expected Perith would end up being your matchmaker, Sofia commented. Nothing better than a trustworthy man to curate other men, don't you think? Dating is clearly not our field of expertise, is all, Sofia said with a shrug. Any promising ones so far? A few. Some of them are people I've known, too. I never even realized they saw me like that. Nice. I'm happy for you. Did not a single one try to come in person, though? Nay, very few people know where to find me when I'm not at the guild, Cooley explained, not looking up from the letter she was reading, and those who do know not to come uninvited. Well, aside from a certain fox. She said she'd come see your city once you wake up. Velour did? There's no city to speak of so far though. I barely got done building the foundations. Ah, right, what about Morn? She had to leave right away for urgent family matters, Cooley said. I don't know more, but it did not sound like something bad, at least. All right. I'll leave you to it then. Can I use the kitchen? I feel quite hungry. Go ahead, the pantry's pretty empty but feel free to use what's there. Thanks. As she had very little confidence in her culinary skills when it came to anything other than grilled meat with salt, Sofia had prepared a very simple salad with what she found in Cooley's kitchen and some leftover vegetables from her storage's cooling box. Pestle had already devoured her portion, while Cooley and Sofia munched on theirs, one reading love letters and the other staring at a list of words. New, fused class skill builder. 1 active and 1 passive builds available for Necromancer. Skill builder, active, target skill level 300, affix limit 3. Unused affixes will be discarded. Available prefixes, Saint. Eclipse, Spec. Heavenly. Relic of. Available suffixes, Necromancer. Rattling, Spec. Sacrifice. Jewels. Available leftover affixes, will not be discarded. Restore. To think I influenced the system this much. And not a single error message this time. I have to wonder if this is Nex's doing or the High Scribes. Still, how in the world is Jewels a Necromancer keyword? And restore is still there. Looks like I'm not using it this time, either. At this rate I'll still have the damn keyword when I reach level 500. Well. What do I do with this, now? The earring actually took 2.3 skill slots, but the demon form upgrade actually freed almost a full slot worth of space. So I have 6.3 slots left. 2 of those are for the Lord skills, so really I have 4 slots left. For 200 levels worth of skills. Taking more skills should be fine for the time being anyway, but space will become an issue without doubt in the future, even if I do more fusions. So. Another active skill. The limiting factor here are the suffixes. They're very narrow. Let's proceed as I usually do. Eclipse starts have Eclipse Rattling Sacrifice and Eclipse Relic of Rattling that sound decent. Eclipse Jewels, maybe. Everything else feels like trash. Heavenly give a lot more decent options. Heavenly Eclipse Sacrifice, Heavenly Relic of, anything really, simply Heavenly Jewels or Heavenly Sacrifice also work. The only annoying things is how little of a guess I have about what these all could do. Relic of and Heavenly can be swapped around when put together without changing the meaning much, so there's that. Relic of Restore Sacrifice certainly sounds interesting. This feels harder than usual. Probably because it doesn't feel like I am lacking much of anything anymore. My defenses are incredible, and I can work on the bolt for offense. Another direct attack spell could be fine, but the keywords this time around really aren't suited for that, so. If anything I would need some kind of utility skill to help with my city building project. Relic of Restore Sacrifice for some kind of invoked healing artifact maybe. Would lessen the need for healers? Ah. But I have the Philosopher's Stone already. I can just make healing water with it. I don't want to use rattling I think. I just can't see what the end result would be. So I think heavenly sacrifice has a good ring to it. But sacrifice? What is sacrificed? Who? For what? Should I just leave it up to chance and get like heavenly jewels? I kind of like that. Heavenly jewels make me think of divine essence, so it could actually have good synergy with VPPV. Yeah, it's settled. I want some kind of heavenly jewels. The issue is, there are many decent combinations even with just that. Heavenly eclipse jewels. Relic of heavenly jewels. Heavenly sacrifice jewels. Heavenly jewels rattling. That last one sounds a bit dirty. Alright. I think I've decided. Really, I don't see how this could go wrong. You have selected, relic of, heavenly, jewels. Are you sure? Fully sure. Get on with it. Sofia thought with excitement. The completed skill arrived almost instantly. You have acquired the active skill, Abereth of Greed. It's a doubled locked skill. Abereth of Greed. This curse is now yours to bear. Summon or recall the Abereth of Greed. The Abereth cannot be escaped. Inserting the mana jewel of the recently deceased inside of the Abereth of Greed grants it power. Powers gained depend on the jewel's previous owner and the Abereth's current owner. Powers gained by the Abereth of Greed can be discarded, but the jewels will be destroyed. Jewel slots, 5, 4+ skill level. Current owner. Sofia Afinareth, Aura of Just Deserts. Current jewels. Name unknown, pre-system, data missing Aura of Stillness. Name unknown, pre-system, date missing Aura of Silence. Amen Ledios, LVL 322, Necromancer Aura of Undeath. Empty. Empty. Aura range is always equal to the owner's. Chapter 748, Angry Bunny. So they just handed me down an old cursed artifact. And what about this is heavenly, hey? It is an interesting skill, though. The Abereth. Does that mean it's deep related? Could be from the lost epoch, then? Something a previous marked one left behind, maybe. Or another item like Orman Cleetha's unbreakable sword. What's surprising is that there isn't a mana cost anywhere. Let's check the auras before summoning it. Aura of Undeath. Compatible corpses within the aura range will rise as feral zombies. Living beings within aura range have greatly hindered health regeneration. I'll probably have to get rid of that. I can still prevent my aura from raising random skeletons to an extent, but I don't want to be creating zombies everywhere. Especially not ones I can't control. Aura of Silence. Noises above a certain loudness threshold within the aura are suppressed. Sound transmitted attacks within the aura range inflict no damage and no negative status. That completely nullifies things like Alitha's Shriek. Interesting. I could keep this. Aura of Stillness. Flow and decay are suppressed within aura range. What they? Flow and decay? Decay I can imagine, but flow? What flow? Water? Blood? This one might have to go as well. And the last one is mine. I hope it's nothing bad since I don't think I can get rid of it. Aura of Just Deserts. Justice is enforced by the Eye of Greed within aura range. That. No more information than that? Not on this thing's definition of justice nor on the Eye of Greed? Sofia slowly stood up from the bench. Already done? You didn't even finish your bowl, Cooley commented. No, I just have to try my new skill real fast, but it could be nasty, so I'll take some distance. I'll be back in a minute. Need help? Hopefully not. I'll show you after I make sure it's safe. Cooley nodded and brought another fork full of salad into her mouth, before Sofia ran off into the mountains. After a few jumps, she quickly checked her surroundings to make sure there was no one nearby, and used her new skill. She felt the new mana circuits in her left arm activate, prompting her to unwillingly grab at the air in front of her. An object just appeared in her hand where she grabbed, oozing with a strange red mist. Oh shit! The name wasn't a coincidence. This is a genuine relic of the deep. Sofia though, struggling to keep heavy object from falling from her hand. Not what I expected to get from the system. It feels unsettling. The object was strange, some kind of squared rod with pyramidal ends, made in one block entirely of a lustrous black stone. It looked distinctly like a miniature tower plucked right out of a certain city Sofia had visited once, in the deep. Its flat surfaces were covered in sinewy lines that felt slightly grooved to the touch, from which the red mist lazily escaped, dispersing into the sluggish mountain wind. This damn thing must weigh several tons. Feeling her arm start to severely ache, Sofia grabbed it with both hands, and tried storing it, or sending it back with the skill, but it did not go anywhere. It was just there, now. Great! Wanting to rest her arms, she tried to put it down on the ground, but it refused to go that low, simply hovering some 20 centimeters above the grass, spinning quietly around its central axis. Sofia sat on a rock in front of the arboreth and just stared at it. I feel my head spin just looking at it. It must be a relic from Siralhatra. How the fuck? Ah, I understand why it felt so weird. It's not just the appearance. My thoughts feel slower. My mana feels sticky. The wind is slow and weak. That must be the aura of stillness. Ugh, this is like being sick. How do I get rid of that? As if hearing her thoughts, the arboreth reacted. The mist-spewing groove slowly spread open, revealing the item's true appearance. Weirdly shaped, elongated eyes stared at Sofia, covering almost the entirety of the arboreth's surface. The eyes' whites were bright and clear, without blemishes, and the pupils were of the same reflective black as the original stone the thing was made of. The pupils slowly moved to fixate on Sofia as the arboreth kept spinning. Among the sea of wavy and curved eyes, a few three-pronged maws filled with tiny sharp black teeth could be spotted, and 3 of them held glowing rocks prisoner between their teeth. While Sofia was locked out of using Identify due to her specialization's mana debt, the skill itself still labeled the 3 rocks as Jewel of Undeath, Jewel of Stillness, and Jewel of Silence. Sofia unsheathed her dagger, and the eyes and maws all snapped shut. Really? Sheathing the dagger back, the eyes slowly reopened. After some hesitation, with a sigh, Sofia grabbed the arboreth again. She could feel the eyes lightly squirming under her palm, their pupils still following her as she tilted the artifact, to keep staring at her face even through her hand. Finding the maw with the Jewel of Stillness again, which had moved to a completely different place, Sofia observed it more closely. Wait. It's still producing mana. No wonder this skill costs no mana. That explains why it needs stones from recently deceased people only. It's maintaining the mana hearts alive somehow. Already determined to get rid of the annoying stillness aura, she slowly inserted a finger between the rose-black teeth to scoop out the jewel. You better not close now. The teeth tore through her skin, and, as she pulled the jewel out, it crumbled into dust instead of leaving the object's mouth. The feeling of sluggishness in the air was instantly lifted. What kind of a madman designed this thing? Sofia wondered, looking at her mangled finger, the skin torn to the bones, healing at a very slow pace because of the aura of Undeath's interference. Sofia quickly pulled the Philosopher's Stone out of her storage, and her finger regenerated almost instantly. So the Philosopher's powers are more potent. Good to know. Since she was already at it, Sofia removed the aura of Undeath too, leaving only the Jewel of Silence inside of the strange object. The eyes and maw slowly closed shut again. Well, I'm stuck with this now. I hate to admit it, but there's hardly a better owner for it. And it's pretty much exactly what I wanted. It looks and feels disgusting, but I can't even complain. I just need to get the appropriate jewels and I can leave that in the middle of my city and forget about it. If I could get an aura of shielding. Sofia reflexively tried to store the item again, frowning when it failed. Sighing once more, she flew back toward Cooley's house, leaving the heavy artifact behind. She sat back at the table without saying anything, getting back to her meal. Nay. So. The new skill. It's an artifact from the deep, Sofia deadpanned. Hey. Cooley reacted, wide-eyed, almost snapping her fork in half. Sofia quietly activated the mana circuits in her left arm, and grabbed the arboreth from the void, letting it float quietly above the table. Is that thing safe? Cooley asked, visibly leaning back away from the accursed thing. Should be. You better get used to it because I apparently cannot get rid of it. Double lock skill. I can't even put it in storage. Here, read the skill description, because I really can't tell you much more than what it says. Sofia watched Cooley's eyes quickly go back and forth over the lines of the system window. She was silent for a bit, then slowly stood up from the table. I'll go grab something to drink. Parith and Pestle examined the strange object while Cooley was away, and she came back a minute later with a red bottle and 4 glasses. She poured a drink for everyone except Bookie, and judging from the smell and the thick mist of mana emanating from the dark purple liquid, Sofia could guess it wasn't something weak. Parith looked at the glass in his hand, visibly confused. I don't know man, if Pestle can drink I don't see why you can't, Cooley said, downing her glass in one shot and pouring herself another one right away, taking a long sip of it before anyone else even had a chance to taste the drink. Ah! I really needed that. Did the skill shock you that much? Sofia asked, slowly bring her glass to her lips and getting a tiny sip of the potent magical alcohol that tasted strong and fruity. While Parath awkwardly moved his mana heart to his throat and tentatively poured the drink into his mouth, Cooley lightly shook her head. Maybe it did. Or maybe I just wanted an excuse to drink. But it is a fuck skill to receive. Nothing I wouldn't expect from you, that being said. I'll take that as a compliment, Sofia answered, glancing at the object still floating in between them. I'm stuck with it now so better get used to it. It's not even that bad as long as it keeps its eyes closed. Eyes. Sofia awkwardly scratched the base of her horns without saying anything, prompting Cooley to entirely down what remained of her second glass and pour herself a third one. After some reflection she said something unexpected, I can get you more jewels if you want. It was Sofia's turn to be shocked. You. Hey. Nay, don't look at me like that. You already got a skeleton out of Zeros, didn't ye? What I'm saying is, we have a few death row rotting in jail. Might as well make good use of those fuckers, Cooley explained in between two sips. Oh. You've got multiple people above 250 in jail. Yet. Not many, but we do. Why not have killed them right away? Sofia asked. The glass in Cooley's hand shattered, she spoke with clear hatred and disgust in her voice. That'd be much too nice a punishment. Chapter 749, The Wider Scene. Munching on a dessert Cooley had brought from the nearest town, she and Sofia's conversation continued, eventually looping back to the subject human continent itself. You know, Sofia said, now that I'm there, I'm surprised there aren't more high-level people here. There were quite a few high-level humans among the spectators. Nay, that's just how the place is. The magical resources here are pretty low, and so are the opportunities for leveling up. Hell, if you don't step into some old ruin or go deep into the mountains, the toughest monsters you'll find around here are around level 60, and that's the rare old bear or wolf pack leader. Even for those who want to grow stronger the opportunities are scarce. Fair point, I didn't exactly get my levels fighting against the wildlife here. But even then, it feels weird to think that I'm already as strong as the Emperor here, you know. Cooley laughed, aha, you shouldn't underestimate Zeros, he may not be the best fighter but he's resourceful enough to deal with people of higher filters. Making deals with fairies and all, hey. I guess I should go meet him first thing when I leave, just to make everything official for my city. Bah, don't worry about it. If anything he'll be glad you're willing to stick around. Another reason why there aren't so many strong people around here is just because it's a self-feeding issue. Nobody wants to stay in the backwaters where there's nobody on their level. Even strong humans and beastmen usually end up leaving for the bigger places. Exidia, Herzl, even Vasperia now, and that's just for the nearby places. Right. Now that I think about it. I don't really know much about the rest of the world outside of this general area. It's a bit embarrassing honestly. I don't even know if there are bigger cities. Exidia seems hard to beat. Cooley shrugged, you're young, places change, how much can you be expected to know? The Andarians' places has been developing a lot lately, but if you want the places with the most power gathered, there are a few standouts. Like the Fey Kingdom. That's one. But it's still mostly fairies there. Not many people are willing to deal with living around their aura and stuff, from what I understand. Similar thing for the main Kleptron hive. I've heard stories about it but I wouldn't even try to go near that place. I don't even know where it is. Do dragons have a city like that, too? Not that I know of, but who knows? You know more of them than I do. Guess I'll ask Aredes. So what are the other standouts? Well, you have Council Ilia, probably the main one you should check out, since it's a city ran by a council of liches. Probably the highest population of undead worldwide. I hear entry is on invitation only, but it shouldn't be too hard to get. How have I never heard of a place like that? Worlds wide, Sofia, it's an underground city, and 3 continents over, so not exactly a place that's brought up often around here. I think the demons have a fortified city only open to them and their relatives, you might want to look into it too, though that's all the information I have on this one. Shouldn't be too hard to find, I need to give my thanks to the Demon King anyway, so I have a reason to visit. Is that all? No, other than that, you have another big human city on an archipelago in the middle of some sea, literally on the other side of the planet from here, but it's not that big compared to the other places I've mentioned. Oh. That must be where all the dark-skinned humans in the public were from, right? We don't really see many of them around here, basically only heroes. Exactly, yes. They have multiple ascended humans leading the place, if I remember correctly, so arguably they're the stronger human continent compared to ours. And lastly, the most significant two cities would be, without a doubt, Diraj City of the Arej Union, and the Flying Fortress. Ah! I've read about the Arej Union actually, the place built by monster races on the remains of an ancient human kingdom, right? Yes, it's a pretty nice place. Had to go there once for guild business. It's definitely a city like no other. Maybe I'll take Rem there one day. But the Flying Fortress? I've absolutely never heard of that one, Sofia admitted, feeling a bit indignant that there had been so many holes in her general knowledge despite all the reading she had done during her time in Exidia. Well, it's just as the name suggests, a relatively new city built inside of a fortress in the sky, founded some 150 years ago. It tends to move around a lot, and it's a little piece of hell in the sky? Probably a third of all the level 500 worldwide live there, I think. It's what Velour told me, anyway. That alone should say a lot. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, I can imagine. Why would so many of the world's strongest all congregate in a single place like this? Nay, be damned if I know. But I received an invitation to go there in between all those letters. I would be surprised if you did not get one as well, so you can go ask them if you want. You won't be going? No thanks, Cooley answered without hesitation before taking a sip of her drink. Well, I'm curious to see how it's like now. I've got a year of mana debt anyway. Plenty of time to go visit new places. A year goes by pretty fast these days, Cooley answered absent-mindedly, swirling the drink in her glass. Back in the bedroom with the ripped pillow, Sofia sat by herself on a comfortable reading chair, and opened her system menu again. One passive build available for Saintess. Skill Builder, passive, target skill level 300, affix limit 3. Unused affixes will be discarded. Available prefixes, Saint. Veil of. Champion. Natural. Available suffixes, Necromancer. Reading. Soul Flame. Decay. Hey, I have a request. Could I get the partial skill descriptions back? I didn't say anything for the actives, but I used to at least get a hint of what the original skills the keywords came from did. It wasn't always helpful, but it made the skill building a lot less of a blind choice. I feel like I should be at least entitled to that if you are going to give double-locked curses without warning. Please wait. Request granted. Just like that? You're pulling some weight, Mr. Scribe, thank you. Skill Builder, passive, target skill level 300, affix limit 3. Unused affixes will be discarded. Available prefixes, Saint. Veil of, protect the target with a champion, gain +1 compressed level to all. Natural, spellcasting no longer cost. Available suffixes, Necromancer. Reading, health of any living or undead target. Soul Flame, flames when touched. Decay, from your enemy's weapons. Now I feel right at home. Much better. The descriptions certainly change the perspective on some of the words. And also, those are pretty good. The original champion skill just gives other skills 100 levels? That's actually insane. Though I assume it's restricted to one type. Like Champion of Light? Only light-related skills? Probably something like that. Reading being health-related certainly is unexpected. Life reading? It would certainly be quite strong to be able to just read people's health bar during a battle. Natural is an interesting one. Spellcasting no longer cost. Probably not mana. Stamina? Some of the more complex skills are quite tiring. It has never been much of an issue for me, though, even if that's often my main stamina drain. The other three are pretty generic. I feel like freehanding this one. Veil of Soul Flame Decay. The perfect counter to Sen's final move. Pretty useless otherwise. Champion reading sounds pretty funny, but it might actually be incredible if it's like an upgraded fast reading. At this rate I might actually be able to decipher the mana circuits people are casting before they can even throw the spell my way. Very reliant on my knowledge of mana structures though. So it would be hard to use, if the end skill is even that. I wonder if Champion Decay could possibly be an aura effect that reduces skill level. That has some crazy potential. Honestly, if I could, I'd probably just take Natural Champion. That sounds awesome. But I need a suffix. Natural reading sounds like a skill for a lith. I don't really know what to do with Soul Flame. I wonder if Natural Soul Flame. Natural Champion Soul Flame? Not too sure what it would do, but that certainly would be interesting. Veil of Decay could be a good defensive skill. Veil of Natural Decay to disguise as an undead? Well, a level 300 skill wouldn't be that simple. Or just Veil of Soul Flame. I have no strong feeling about any of those, really. Another tough choice. Chapter 750, Taking Roots. I feel like Natural Champion reading could be good. If it can just give me a processing bonus, it would be an incredible start for a skill fusion. I could work toward another Dodge Me tier skill. Not to mention they are the 3 keywords with the strongest sounding description bits. It has to be good. You have selected Natural Champion Reading. Are you sure? Sure. Hopefully this one doesn't take much blueprint space like the Aberrath. There was some wait, this time, but it was only a few minutes. Soon enough, Sofia got a new skill, and she noticed some of the effects before even opening the description. No way. You have acquired the passive skill, Forced Genius Body. Forced Genius Body. Rarely does jealousy create greatness, but perhaps, just once, it did bear fruit. Your body becomes a natural champion at reading and exploiting mana pathways to their full potential, at a cost. Maximum health minus 20%. All skills are always at the maximum level possible for your current filter. In rare cases, skills that cannot level may level up. Plus 0%, 0 * skill level, probability of skill that cannot level leveling up. I don't even care about the health penalty. This is going to save me so much time. Oh. And we're done calculating all the slot attributions? Nice. Name, Sofia Afinareth. Age, 21. Class, Saintmancer. Subclass, False Lord. Level, 300. Health, 17,246 326, minus 20%. Stamina, 7,846 671. Mana, 199 572 495, plus 77%. Divinity, 130. Mana regeneration, 0.32%, plus other sources equals 847 371/s. Mana regeneration in sunlight, 0.32%, plus other sources equals 2067 605/s. Main specialization, Eclipse Skeleton. Alteration chance, 0%. Secondary specialization, Heat Death. Tertiary specialization, Sovereign of Unshackled Frames. Signature skill, Ultimate. Awakening of the 5 Calamities. Mana Heart abilities, 4. Infinity Engine LV.3. Relocate Core Ultimate Rank. Slashing Resistance. Explosion Resistance. Remaining possible skill slots, 4.7/50. False Lord skills, 2 of 50 slots. Singularity Edict, 1s. Paradise Toybox, 1s. Active skills, 16.8 of 50 slots. Spine of the Black Sun, level 349, 1s. Summon Odolite Blood, level 349, 5.3s. Graveyard of the Nymphs, level 349, 1.3s. False Immortality, level 5, 3.2s. Skull Choir, level 349, 0.7 plus 0.5s. Reign Over Shadows, 1.1s. Saintmancer's Star, 1.4s. Avatar of Zeus, 1.6s. Aberrath of Greed, 0.7s. Passive skills, 9.2 of 50 slots. Blessing of the Deep, 2/4, 0s. Valkyrie's Rehofen, Hungering Hand of Sorrow, 2.1s. Venerable Physique of the Primeval Void, Peak of Light Forging Realm, 4.3s. Runeforged Overlord, level 5, 1s. 6th Melody, 0.9s. Forced Genius Body, 0.9s. Classless Skills, 6.7 of 50 slots. Dreams of a Demon Which Gods Envy, March of the Envoy, 2.2s. Summon Self, Level 100, 0.6s. Essence Resonator, 1.3s. Radiance, Level 100, 1s. Crystallized Suffering, 1.6s. Racial Skills, 5 of 50 slots. Edgewalker. Pillar of Creation. Mockery of the Divine. Convergent Evolution. Special Skills, 0.1 of 50 slots. The Book of Skeletons, 0.1s. Wild Cast Skills, 3 of 50 slots. Angel's Bolt, 1.5s. Identify, 0.9s. Call Elemental Sprite, 0.6s. Biomagical Engineering, 2.5 of 50 slots. All-in-Ear Ring, 2s. Prototype Relocation I, 0.5s. Summoned Heroes, 4/4. LV.300 Parath, Holy Hrim Thursday Drag Reclipse Skeleton. LV.299 Alith. LV.300 Book of Skeletons, Book. LV.299 Iwara, Heartless Shade. Mark of Afinareth. 50 levels of Spine, Graveyard, Choir, and Rune Forged, almost 100 of Summon Blood, 40 of Summon Self, and most importantly, a free level of False Immortality. Skills that cannot level up may level up. That line alone would have been enough for me to keep it. If Dodge Me or the Venerable Physique levels up, even the demon form potentially could. The skill itself doesn't have a level, but it still has a line for level scaling. That's so messed up. It does illustrate the function well, though. The other skills don't have that kind of scaling marked, however. So I'll only know what improves if and when they get a level. I wonder if I need to do something special. Is it safe to assume I just need to keep using the skills? This one's mana pathways are. It's surprising it only takes 0.9 slots considering how complex it is. But a lot of the mana channels just straight up dig into the small pockets of wasted free space of the other skill, it looks like. That might actually make fusions a bit harder. It even digs a bit into the specializations. I can't wait for the first level up. Sofia leaned back, relaxing in her chair. That was one thing done on her long checklist. She needed to deal with her system-related tasks as soon as possible because she expected to have an extremely busy schedule moving forward. She had 1 year to pay her mana debt, collect as many divine essences as possible, build up her city, and train her friends for their trial. I can already tell I won't have a second for myself when I return to the swamp. Alright. Let's quickly check the crown and the essence list. Saintmancer's Golden Crown of Victory. Gain a cumulative strength buff from your every valiant victories. Upon losing against a valiant victory target, lose related bonus. This is only active while you wear the crown. Lesser victories. Siren Queen plus 2%. ZHNGLU plus 2%. Cardinal, Puppet of Scripture plus 2%. Twin-Headed Sunless Amalgam plus 2%. Chimera plus 2%. Grand Crusader Valkyrian plus 2%. Valiant Victories. Ignatius Everbright plus 5%. Mutated Evranarium Line plus 5%. Image of Orvad Moria Ovohen plus 5%. Terran plus 5%. Sunless Waves plus 5%. Image of Tartaros plus 5%. Izarid Roads plus 5%. Glorious Victories. Incarnation of Victory plus 15%. Saria Afinareth plus 15%. Kijikik Destroyer plus 15%. Image of Sen plus 15%. Preposterous Victories. Lilith plus 25%. Restriction, wearer must be Sofia Afinareth. Soulbound. System item. There really isn't a better environment than the trials to get victories for this crown. 182% extra strength. That's what's preposterous. If my base strength wasn't so terrible, I might be stronger than Parath with that. I might just about get to his level in demon form now. Too bad we can't look up the substats. I need to check my aura as well. Even if I've got a pretty good read on it. It almost doubled. My mana shot up more than 20 times, but aura barely moved. But first. Divinity status. Been a while since I checked that one. I wonder if I'll be able to get the 11 essences I still need for VPPV. Divinity status, Sofia Afinareth. Saintess of technically nobody. VIP, safeguards, on, link status, none, connection aborted by admin. Planar connection. Superphysical, yes. Monofog, yes. Subspiritual, yes. Margin, yes. Deep, almost definitely yes. Collected essence, EV. Afinareth, number div/0. Creation, 2, 6.66. Death, 3, 15. Dread, 3.99. Life, 4.56. Looming, 5e8. Ormancleath, number div/0. Rejection, 1.76. Scripture, 2.32. Sorrow, 4.7. Taxes, 4.4. Sun, 5.25. Victory, 4.32. This. He got stronger again. Well, that doesn't change my plans. Looming grew again too. Nex has definitely been working on my case like he said. I suppose he did deserve that one slice of cake. I do wonder how things are going with Anna. But it's not my problem to solve. Enough to worry about. But first. Sofia stood up from the chair. Perith, I'm going to Zangdar for a bit. Be right back. She summoned the Midanisit ring from within her left eye, and disappeared after putting it on her finger. The Midanisit castle was still the same, and Sofia could only feel a few presences there, her Skellums, and Rem, in the middle of the small Lumian bone tree forest. She had half expected to meet either Saria or Alith here, but checking on Rem was the main priority either way. Before that, she felt something enter Zangdar after her. A thin pillar of black rock. The Abereth hovered above the ground slowly spinning on its axis. It had still been on the garden table an instant before, but it had managed to follow Sofia nonetheless. Can't escape, hey. I'll need to find a way to stop this if I want to leave it as protection for the city. Whatever. Rem is more important. Her mana seems stable. Sofia approached silently. The young sleeping dryad still looked mostly the same, but her head which used to lack a proper face was starting to warp into a more human shape, though it was still like looking at an unfinished wooden sculpture lacking any fine detail. Sleeping so peacefully. Should I feed her a little? Before she could do anything, the dryad woke up, looking around before staring at Sofia without standing up from her leaf-covered bed. Ah, did I wake you up? Slept well. Rem let out a cute high-pitched cry, sticking out her handless arms. What's that, want a hug? Sofia bent over and grabbed the lazy dryad out of her bed, giving a warm embrace to her wooden body. I guess you don't need blood if you are going to absorb my mana like this. You're really enjoying this, hey? Does my mana taste better now somehow? Well. Eat up, I got more than enough, Sofia said to Rem as she happily nuzzled her head against Sofia's chest, as if trying to chest closer to her mana heart. Holding Rem up with a single arm, she grabbed a random woolen cape from her storage and draped it over the dryad's back. I'm happy to see you more energetic than usual. Hold on tight, you should get some Sunday. Rem seemed happy, spending about half an hour sitting in the middle of Cooley's garden under the late rays of the afternoon sun. She still couldn't properly express herself, but it looked like she was starting to understand the meaning of words, or that was the impression Sofia got, at least. Soon enough, she fell asleep again, resting her head on Sofia's lap. Still hard to stay awake for long, hey? It's getting better though. At this rate you can hold on for an entire hour soon. It's slow but progress is progress. Sofia thought, gently caressing the dryad's wooden horns. Let me get you back to your bed. After warning Perith and Cooley, Sofia spent a night with Rem and Zangdar, and the next morning, she got ready to leave, giving Cooley a short hug. I'll see you soon in my city, right? Nia, I'll come check it out as soon as I'm done with the guild business. So try to survive until then. I'll do my best.